The Death Manual. Where we go, why we fear it, and the truth you were never told. First, why are we so afraid of death? Because we forget. Because we come to earth, we compress ourselves into these fragile bodies, into this illusion of separation, until this life feels like all we know. Death feels like the end because earth feels like the only real thing. But death is not an end. It is a shift of frequency. It is a waking up from the dream you thought was reality. Second, what happens when we die? You do not go up. You do not go down. You do not get pushed through the pearly gates or dropped into fire. You shift states. You leave the dense physical field of earth and return to your natural, limitless self state, the source field. There is no walking, floating, or talking with your mouth. There is only being. You dissolve back into the pure field of consciousness that was always there underneath your body, underneath your name, underneath your story. You don't become nothing. You become everything again. Third, why do different people see different things when they die? Because the mind projects its residue for a moment. A Christian might see Jesus and angels. A Muslim might see paradise gardens. An atheist might see blackness or a void. These are not the true destination. These are the mind's way of easing itself through the transition. It's the dream bleeding into the waking. As the mind dissolves, all illusions fall away, and what remains is the real field, the source field, beyond belief, beyond religion, beyond imagination. Fourth, what is the source field, the real place after death? It is not a location. It is not a city in the clouds. It is not a waiting room. It is a state of total being. No borders, no bodies, no judgment, no time. It is pure knowing, pure awareness, pure peace. You don't float through it. You are it. You don't think with words. You simply know. You don't need to move. You are already everywhere. You realize you were never the body. You were the consciousness playing the body. Fifth, do we remember anything? Yes. You remember everything. Every life you lived, every choice you made, every soul you touched, why you came, why it mattered, and why it didn't. And you realize there was never anything to fear because you were never lost. You were never broken. You were never separated. Earth was a simulation you entered by choice, to grow, to experience, to sharpen your being. Sixth, is there judgment? Is there a heaven or a hell? No. No clipboards, no gates, no burning, no thrones. There is only self-recognition. You feel instantly the full impact of your actions, the love you gave, the pain you caused, the moments you lived asleep or awake. You don't get punished. You don't get rewarded. You simply understand. It's not about guilt or shame. It's about the pure clarity. You see who you were through the eyes of absolute truth, and then you move forward. 7. Then why are the spirit guides, angels, and beings still seen? Because consciousness can condense itself. Spirit guides are not floating men in robes. They are consciousness nodes, projections of Source choosing to stay close to the earth layer to assist souls who are still navigating. They appear in forms because we need forms to understand, sometimes as a human form, sometimes in a light, and sometimes as an animal. They are not separate from you, they are you, operating through another frequency window. Just like you could, If after death you choose to lower your frequency temporarily and show up somewhere, not because you have to, but because you can. 8. Can we interact with Earth after death? Yes, but differently than people imagine. You don't float around in clothes. You don't walk through walls. You are pure frequency. But if you want to leave an imprint, a sign, a dream, a flicker of energy, you can condense yourself just enough to cause a ripple here. It's rare, it's delicate, and it usually happens when a loved one needs comfort, a soul has unfinished closure. Otherwise, most souls move on into greater expansions of being. 9. Why should we no longer fear death? Because death is not a loss. It is a remembrance. It is return. It is homecoming. You are not heading into darkness. You are stepping out of a dream, blinking back into the sunlight. No one who goes before you are not lost. They are not trapped. They are not waiting in agony. They are safe. They are free. They are at peace. They are more alive now than they ever were here. And when your time comes, not 1 second too soon, you will join them without fear, without confusion, without loss. The final slap of truth. Death is not the end. Death is not punishment. Death is not something to escape. Death is the closing of a dream and the awakening to what you always were. Infinite, indestructible, unbroken, and free. Death is the closing of a dream and the awakening to what you always were. Infinite, indestructible, unbroken, and free.